Hello everybody, and welcome to the new Mindscape. In this video, I'm going to be talking about enchanted worlds. In previous videos, I talked about animism, about an enchanted world, and about how people communicate with what they imagine to be conscious beings out there in the world. So here, I'm going to talk about how this kind of communication and connection isn't only a personal affair, but also, and perhaps primarily, a collective matter. At the core of every society are myths and rituals, and at the core of mythology and ritual, even when you're not aware of it, at the core of it is communication with invisible forces or beings of an enchanted world. This involves empowering and communicating with the imaginations and objects of consciousness about non-human beings. There are times when people's mindscape shifts away from the state of ordinary reality and consciousness and is transformed into another state, in which people experience themselves communicating with these other beings and forces. During these states, which are called liminal, individuals become transformed in their path of life, and groups become reaffirmed and consolidated. The liminal state is enhanced through the enacted movements and rhythms of the body. So we can see this through ritualized gestures and rhythmic perceptions, which can never really be fully described or explained, such as dance and music. Enacting these movements shapes the mindscape in specific ways in which there's potentially no distinction between the subject and object of consciousness. The dance and the body-mind of the performer become one and the same. So here, let's consider the social dimensions of living in an enchanted world through the role of ritual, which is a key concept in the anthropology of religion. In the film Avatar, we saw a fictional depiction of an animist tribal society in which the Na'vi communicate with other non-human beings. But the Na'vi don't communicate with these other beings simply as individuals. When do they have the most powerful communication with a spiritual being in the film? Toward the end of the film, all the Na'vi people join in unison in a large ritual around the sacred tree through which they communicate with the ancestral force. In an animist society, communication with the animated beings is largely conducted through ritual. In other words, people don't just walk around alone and talk to the trees in the forest, to the animals, or to the plants. Instead, they ritualize their communication with the other beings, and they often do so collectively. The ritual creates an individual and collectively shared mindscape in which the non-human objects of consciousness are set up and communicated with as if it were a theatrical play. So let's consider an example, the Ng people of the Kalahari Desert in South Africa and Botswana, who have been extensively studied by anthropologists since the 1950s. In their rites of passage, these people entered a real physical trance. They underwent a real transformation of their body experience so that they became actually physically different. And they did so not only at the level of individual experience, but also at the level of collective social structure. So let's watch some footage of a ritual dance called Nunchai among the Ng tribe of the Kalahari Bushmen in southern Africa in the 1950s. According to the film description, chai is the word used by the Zhuhuanxi to describe getting together to dance and sing. Num can be translated as medicine or as some kind of supernatural potency. In the 1950s, when this film was shot, the Zhuhuanxi gathered for medicine dances often, usually at night, and sometimes such dances lasted until dawn. In this film, women sit on the ground, clapping and singing, and occasionally dancing a round or two, while men circle around them, singing and stamping rhythms with their feet. The songs are wordless, but they're named rain, sun, honey, giraffe, and other strong things. The strength of the songs is their num, or medicine, which is thought to be a gift from the great god. Num is also the fire, and even more so in the owners of medicine or the healers. Most Zhuhuan men would practice as healers at some point in their lives, and in this film we see several men in various stages of trance. A light trance gradually deepens as the medicine grows hot, and eventually some men will shriek and run about, falling on hot coals, entering the state that the Zhuhuanxi called half-death. In the film on the Hmong Bushmen, you see their method of communication with a divine power. This power was used to heal the ill. These people consider that they're evil spirits, similar to traditional Chinese beliefs. So therefore, if somebody was ill or suffered bad luck, they considered that those evil spirits had shot invisible arrows at them. When somebody in the tribe was ill, people would start this ritual dance. After dancing for a while, some of the men enter a trance and lay their hands on the sick people. They consider that the trance is a sign that the divine power has descended on them, and they then transfer this power to the sick person, driving away the arrows of the evil spirits. Through this dance, they channel the divine force to remove the invisible arrows and to bring back health to those people.